They just post in. They just post in the post.
They did not film yesterday, that's why.
Something what
Yes, you can keep that side, actually, then we put at the back. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. All right, so we go straight to risk and assessment, as risk and uncertainty. Okay, and we will discuss, okay, risk and uncertainty. Okay. Okay. Right. Part of decision making is always a portion of risk and a portion of uncertainty. Because when you make decisions, you don't make decisions for the past. You make decisions for the future. So there is an element always of risk and uncertainty. So when decision makers make decisions today for the future, they want to have that risk as high as possible or as low as possible? As low as possible. Okay? So, and also, even if there's certain things that are uncertain in the future, they want to have some indicators, okay, to make a decision. So, in this chapter, we will look at techniques that will, let's say, reduce the risk, that we cannot eliminate, yes, but reduce the risk, or you actually make the uncertainty a little bit uncertain, if you know what I mean. Okay, so in other words, at least have some indicator of what could happen in the future. Okay, so what you see on the screen are the different kinds of techniques that could be used by those making decisions to actually say, okay, I'm taking a calculated risk. You understand what I mean, calculated risk? You have a certain basis for making the decision. Okay? So we will need to learn these different methods, okay, to actually make decisions. Right? Of course, you know that some of the things that you can use to make decisions is to do what? You do research. Yeah. That's why when you want to set up a business, you want to get someone to research for you. Okay, the probability of making or making it into that kind of business. Okay. Some other technique you will hear is the word simulation, expected values, what else? Sensitivity analysis. Okay, so these are the ones that we're going to look at today. Then there's also, you will hear the words maximax, maximin, and minimax regret. That's yet another technique to make decisions. Another one is using a decision tree, okay, to make a decision. Now, remember, when you want to make decisions for the future, you want to have information of what happens in the future, correct? Okay? But nobody knows that. What we can have is probabilities, correct? So, to be able to find out the information for the future, you need to pay for the information, yes? Okay. So the question is, what is the value of perfect information? How much am I willing to pay to have the information, okay, for the future, today? Right? Can that happen? Yes. There are experts who do research. There are experts who do calculations, but they do not come for free. You have to pay them. How much is it that you can pay for that information? Okay. Now, that is why we need to be able to calculate value of perfect information. Okay, value of perfect information. VOPI. You will hear this later on. Value of perfect information. Okay. So, we have a long list of things to discuss, but don't worry, we will practice as many as we can for this. Okay? Now, remember, as I told you, ideally, every decision maker wants to have certainty when they make the decision. But remember, nobody knows 100% what happens in the future. You have a forecast, but you will not know exactly what will happen in the future. Hence, we have methods to actually evaluate, okay, the risk and uncertainty in making our decisions. Okay? Right, so, now, some of these techniques are sensible, some are really there, but not many people use it. Nonetheless, these are valid techniques. Okay? So there are many techniques that we are going to learn. So we're going to look at expected values. We look at maximax, maximin, minimax regret. These are decision methods. These are other techniques that going to look at data tables, probabilities, decision making. Alright? So there are many different kinds of techniques that we're going to look at. So we're going to look at each one of them to learn. Yes. Okay, now in the exam, right? Sometimes they will ask you to explain the technique. Most of the time, they will ask you to prepare and answer the questions, okay? Using, for example, the decision tree, right? And you may ask to prepare data tables and comment about them. Okay? And of course, you're asked to make data tables and see how a manager would answer or take the decision depending on what kind of attitude they have towards risk. We'll talk about that in a moment. Okay? So it's a mixture again of calculation and discussions. Okay? So let's begin. All right. Okay. Question is, every decision maker may not know what is in the future, but he probably will have some experience. Do you understand? The more experience he has, the better he is at decision making. Okay? Of course, with additional information. So if he has past experience, okay, there is risk that he will still make the wrong decision. But if he does not have a past experience, then definitely he does not know anything in the future, correct? Okay? So again, if the person knows something of the similar nature in the past, then yes, he can make the decision. There's still a risk that it may not be the correct decision, correct? Okay? But it's future. But if somebody doesn't have any idea about that kind of decision making, yeah, it's not only risk, it's even uncertainty. Okay? Risk and uncertainty. Alright, let's explain more. Okay? So risk, we said you have a past experience and you can estimate the probabilities. In a situation that is no uncertainty, it is uncertainty, which means there is no past experience. So therefore, you cannot predict probabilities. So if there's no information in the past, you cannot predict the future. Okay? So what happens? During risk, okay, when you have a risk, you probably, things may have occurred, or you know things will occur, but you put in certain probability. In terms of uncertainty, really the outcome cannot be predicted. How will you solve uncertainty? Do a market research, because there is no past data. There is no past experience. Okay? So, again, how else can I discuss risk and uncertainty? Okay? Alright? You have risks when you actually you know the possible outcome. Remember, you have an experience in the past, so you know what could possibly happen. You have kind of like choices of what could happen. And you actually have probabilities. You know how much percent this could happen, how much percent A could happen or B could happen. So you can actually have, you know the possible outcomes, you have the possibilities of how many times it can come out. Example, okay? You know what is this, correct? You know what is that? What's that? It's a dice, correct? Now, you know when you throw the dice, you know what are the possible outcomes. What are the possible outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Until 6, correct? Alright. So you know the possible outcome, and you know the probability, correct? Okay? So you know that there you can have 1 of 1, correct, Benson? 1 of 2, 1 times 2. So you know the probabilities. The uncertainty is something that you know something will happen, but the possible outcome you do not know, or the probability you don't know. Okay? Example, the F5 exam right? You know there's an F5 exam, but you don't know what is the outcome. You don't know what is the question that's going to come out, so you don't know what is the probability, correct? Or you have a game between Manchester United and Liverpool. You know there's a game, but you will not know what is the outcome or even the probability, right? Okay, so that is what we call uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty versus risk. Now let's talk about risk again. Okay, one way to actually use in terms of calculating, okay, and making decisions when it comes to risk. Now remember, in risk, what did they say? There is a possible outcome and there is probability. You understand? So, because you have these two, you can calculate expected values. How do I calculate it? I calculate expected value. You calculate by taking the value of the outcome, multiply by its probability. Okay? Now, don't worry. Let me explain to you. Then after that, once you calculate and multiply the outcome by the probability, you add all the EV, and that is all, okay, of all the possible outcomes, and that is your result. Okay? That is probably what you're going to come up with. Okay? So let's take a look. What is this here? Anybody knows what this table represents? Anybody? Don't be shy if you know. Tell me. Do you know? No, you're so honest. Anybody? It's a what? Correct. Very good, Kingsley. You've been there with me, right? Okay, good. Yes. You've climbed it. It's a table. It's a big table, right? In the casino. It's colored green. Exactly the color there. So this is what you see inside the table. All right? What happens here? This is where people put their bets. Now, betting is a kind of a decision making, correct? You have to decide where you're going to put your money, right? Okay, here we go. Now, look at this table. There are many ways. Let's understand this table. There are many ways to put your bets, correct? All right. We have how many? 1, 2, 36. But if you include 0, there are 37 numbers, correct? Okay. So, what happens is, if I put my money into number 10, there is it's called a roulette. You know roulette? Yeah, that one you know, right? It moves around, correct? Okay, and then they throw I don't know what they throw, a dice or a chip or something. Then it stops in one of the numbers, yes? If that chip falls into 10, what happens to me? I win, correct? I put it on 10. So I win. Okay? Another way for you to win is that you put your money here, which means what happens here? If I put my money here or my bet here, what happens? If the roulette falls any number here, do I win? Yeah, I win. You understand? Any of the first 12 numbers, I win. If I put my money here, if the roulette comes with a number within this, I win. You understand? Okay? Or if I put my number and say any number between 1 and 18, and any number 1 to 18 it comes out, I win. Correct? If I put my money here, what does it mean? If the roulette comes with an even number, what is even number? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You understand? If the roulette, there's another wheel beside this that keeps turning and then it stops, yeah? If the number falls on 12 and I put my number on even here, do I win anything? Yes or no? If it falls here, if it falls on 12, do I win if I put my bet here? Even? Yes. The ladies understand it better than the men. Okay, ladies? Okay, if I put my number here on the red, and the roulette falls on 16, even if my number is not 16, but it's red, do I win? Aha, now you understand? You get the spirit of it? Yeah, it's nice, eh? Okay, That's why Mr. Hunsen is not like casinos, isn't it? Except in Sihanoukville, of course. Okay. Now, there are many probabilities for me to win, isn't it? Okay. So if I'm going to calculate my expected values in terms of where I could win, then look at this. I have $100. If I have $100, I might as well buy shoes or bag, isn't it? But I choose to go to the casino. Okay? If I put my bet on any number, okay, any number. So what is my probability? 1 out of what? Why 37 again? Because it's 0 to 36, including 0. So, what is my probability? I have a probability to actually have 0.27 chance of what? Of winning. Is that correct? Yes? I have 1 out of 37 chance of winning. So, that is my probability. Okay? So, the casino says the payout, in other words, the profit I get, is approximately an average of 3,500 if I win. Okay? Now, or I have another choice. I put it on a red or black. You remember red or black? Yes? Okay. So if I put it on a red or black, I have 18 out of 37. Do you agree? Yeah? Let's see. How many black and how many red? Is that 18? Is it 18 out of 37? Is it
66.
Huh? 18 out of what? But including the 0. How many? 37 or 36? Out of 36, okay, maybe my calculation is wrong. Okay. Alright, so maybe 36. But if I add 30, I add the 0 as a choice, correct? So then it will be 37. Okay, so let's say it's 37. Okay, if I put either on odd or even, I have half a chance to win, isn't it? Because half of the numbers is odd, half of the numbers is... Okay. If I put my number on my bet on either the first 12, the second 12, the third 12, you remember that? Okay. So what happened? I have 12 out of 37 chance to win. So if I look at that, what is the EV? EV is your outcome multiplied by the EV, expected value, is outcome multiplied by the probability, correct? So, what is my total EV? Is I will get the total after I multiply like the probable bets I can put, correct? So, what does it tell me? Look, it tells me that if I put out $400, you understand? $400, how much do I make? How much do I make? 256.76 on the average. Do you understand? On the average. Okay? But I can actually be, if I'm lucky, how much can I get? As much as 3,500 or as low as 100. Do you understand? Or as low as 0. You understand? Okay. So this is one way to actually tell me how to make my decisions. How do I make my decision using the EV? Alright? So if the customer bets in the above sequence, the casino expects to pay you 256.76 on the average. Okay, on the average. Okay, so therefore, EV is like a weighted average payoff. Okay? So the payoff here for you, as the bettor, it's your probable income. Do you understand? It's your probable income, but it is the weighted average income. Alright? On the average, huh? On the average. But it may be higher than that, or it can be lower than that. Okay? So, what happens? You need to be able to learn how to prepare a payoff table. Okay? Because you have choices, correct? Now, remember, when you have a payoff table, your table should always show profit. You understand? Again, when you have a payoff table, your payoff table should show profit. So these amounts here are what? These are not sales. These are not expenses. These are profits. All right. The other thing that you need to look at when you have a payoff table, two other things. You have your choices, which is the one you're deciding on, and you have situations. Now look at what I have here. Where are my choices in this scenario? Look at my box. What am I deciding to do? I want to decide whether to make a large factory, an average factory, or a small factory. So these are my choices. But the choice I will make depends on a scenario, and it depends on the state of the economy. You understand? Strong economy, stable economy, or weak economy. And in each situation, it gives me the probable profit I will make, or loss. Okay? Profit or loss I will make. So what do I call it? I call this the payoff table. Okay? So when you make decisions involving information of choices, it's good for you to prepare a payoff table. So how does it work? Okay? Now, alright. When you use expected value, what did I say? How do you calculate expected value? Probability multiplied by the outcome or the income. The outcome is your payoff, is your profit, correct? So it means when I have the payoff table, I should know the probability. Where is my probability? Here. The probability is on the situation. Okay? So what does it say? There is a 0.3% probability that, okay, that there is a strong, what's that? Strong economy. What else? There is a, how many percent probability? 50% probability if it's a stable economy, and a weak economy has a 0.2% probability. Now, when you use expected values, you have to do what? It's not very clear, sorry. Is it clear on your notes? Yeah, sorry, it's my thing. Check it. You can see expected values. So what happened? What do you do? Okay, so you actually calculate, alright? You remember, what do we do with expected value? You take the sum of all the probabilities, correct? Okay, so payoff multiplied by the probability. So let's take a look. Okay, so 0.3, 0.5, and 0.2. How do I calculate, okay, the weighted average payoff? What do I do? Okay, so every option, right? So example, for a large factory, how do I calculate the EV? I have to multiply, correct? You understand? Okay, and then average factory, you calculate, you understand? Probability and the outcome. Once you have that, for every option, you have to calculate the total EV. So if you do that, can you tell me which factory would you make? Which one will give you the highest EV? Can you try that? So for every option, which one would you calculate? How would you calculate? It's over there, correct? So you understand what it means, right? Yeah? So what happens there? You have, if I do that, what will happen? The large factory will have an EV of 61. The average factory is 81, and the small factory is 31. So using the technique of EV, expected value, which factory should I build? I will build the average factory. You understand? Because it has the highest expected value. If I use the technique, okay, you understand? We are looking at various techniques to make decisions. So this is one technique. Okay? So, all right. Now, I will need to ask you to prepare a payoff table. Can you do that? Okay? That is the ideal. All right. Now, there is a bar owner, and he is considering whether to offer lunchtime meals. You know what is a bar. What time does the bar open? Kimberly, because you're the one who knows a lot about these things. What time does the bar open? So this time you know. Okay, tell me, what time does the bar open? 5 p.m. Okay, good. So yeah, you'll be the bar, my partner in the bar, and he will be my partner in the casino. Okay, good. All right. So the bar opens normally at 5, correct? Now these businesses, why don't we open and provide lunch? All right. Okay. Now here's what happened to him. He says though he has to prepare the meals in advance, and then he sells it to the customer. The question he has: how many meals should he prepare in advance? Alright, so he says he has estimated that his daily demand will be either 10 meals or 20 meals. And there's probabilities there, correct? Each meal costs $5 to make, and he's going to sell it at $15 to the customers. Okay? So first, can you calculate the expected demand per day? In other words, what is your EV? Can I calculate EV? Yes, tell me, what is the EV? What should I do in the EV here? 10 multiplied by what? 0.3 plus 20 multiplied by 0.7. So, what's that? How much is my EV? So you use your brain or use your calculator? Which one will you? Okay, so how many? 17. Okay, very good. 17. Alright, what's the next exam? What is the next instruction? We are to prepare a what? Payoff matrix or a payoff table showing the outcomes if the owner decides to make 10, 20, and the EV numbers of meals demanded. Okay? Use this to determine his optimal solution. So which means, remember what did I tell you? If you prepare an EV, payoff table, you have to know the choices, correct? And you need to know the situation. Alright? Choices and situation. Okay? So what are his choices? Okay? His choices is to make what? In advance, how many? 10, 20, and also what? And also, what did he say? And also the EV. What is the EV that we just calculated? So 10, 17, or 20. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Very good. Now, all right. Okay, so ready? Okay, so how do we make the table? Alright, so 2 things you need to do, I told you. You need to, let's see. Let me put it on the other side first. Okay. Do I have it with you or no?
Did I provide it to you in your handout? No. Okay, let's use a table. Okay, it's easier. Okay, so all right. So the first one, we said we have the choices. What choices do we have? Does he have? Okay, his choices are to prepare how many? We said he can either prepare 10 or what? Sorry, 10 or 17 or 20 meals, correct? Agree? Okay, so these are his choices. He can prepare any of these. But what is his situation? What is the situation he has? The situation is that demand, correct? What did he say the demand could be? It's either be 10, sorry. Either the customers are how many? 10 or 20. Correct. Yes? That's his situation. And what is the probability of this? You remember what I said in terms of 10, how many percent probability? Okay, so 30%, so 0.30, okay? And the other one is how many percent? 70. So you have the probabilities. I will just put it as red so you'll understand, okay? Now, I need to put amounts here. What did I tell you? What amount should I put in here? Yes, correct. I need to put profit. How will I know what is the profit? Okay, so let's see. Okay, the first one is this amount here. If I sell 10, how much profit do they make? Alright, so the first one we need to look at is if I put, okay, so the first one is here. Right? So if the first item, sorry. Okay, so if they make 10 and they sell 10, what is the profit? They make 10, what is the profit per meal? So it's 50. The profit, just to show you when you study, I'm just going to show it here, correct? So the profit is actually 10 because the selling price is 10, correct? And selling price is 15. So how much profit is here? 100, okay? So 100. So in here, if you understand the matrix? If I have prepared 10 and I sell all of them, I make a profit of 100. You? Make sense? Alright. What happens if I prepare 17 but I only sell how many? 10. What will happen to me? So let's see. What could happen? If I sell 10, so I will get a profit of what? 100, right? However, I need to deduct something. What is the cost of what? I prepared 7, but I was not able to sell that, correct? So, which means this one will have a cost of what? $5. You understand now? It's going to be a loss for me. So I have to deduct that from my profit. Is that correct? Yes? Okay. So I will deduct that here. How much will I deduct? 35. So what is my profit here? 65. You understand? 65. So, sorry, here I should say. So, what will I put here? I shall put here 65. Yeah? You understand, everybody? Why? Anybody can explain why? Yeah? Understood? Why? Why can you not understand? What is the question?
Why 10? Because it's 17. You get 17.
You make 17, but you only sold 10. What is on the top? The demand for you prepared 17, only 10 customers came. So how much profit did you make? Yes? Everybody? Okay, again, look at the table. I will not leave you until you know this, because once you know all this, everything else is going to be easy. You see, the top says this is the demand. This is on the left is what you prepared. So if you prepared 10 and you sold all the 10, you make a profit of 100. If you prepared 17 but only sold 10, you only make a profit of 65, because the 7 you were not able to sell it. Somebody has to pay for the cost, correct? Yes? Okay. Now you prepared 20 and you sold only 10. Can you tell me what is the profit? Now you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes? Okay, so tell me then. How much is my profit on my payoff table? What did you do here? Your profit is still 10. Is that correct?
Cost.
But you less what?
10 for cost.
Yes, so you had to get, okay, so you had to minus how much? 50, right? Is that correct? And therefore, how much are you going to make profit only? You're going to make a profit of only 50. Yes? So there you are. Okay, let's see if you understood what I did, what I said. Okay? So alright, so again, the bar owner prepared 20 in advance. You understand? In advance. But only sold 10, then he only makes 50 because he had to cover for the cost of the unsold 10. Now tell me now. You prepared in advance 10, 20 came. How much profit will you make? Same, right? Because you sold everything. Right? You sold everything. Okay. So, over here is the same here. 100. Okay? Now, what about here? What about if you prepared 17 and 20 customers came? What should you do? Huh? You said all, correct. So how will you calculate the profit then? Okay, so profit will be what? Will equal to 17 multiplied by what? By 15? By 15 minus 5, correct? Or by 10. So the answer here is 170, correct? Okay, so 170. But what happens if you prepared 20 and 20 came? So the answer is 200. Yes? Okay, 200. Okay, now just to make sure that you understand it when you're studying, let me write that anyway. So in number 5, if 20 came and 20 were prepared and 20 came to buy, so your profit will be, okay, 20 multiplied by 10. Okay, so 200. Alright, so here you are. You have, what do you call this again? We call it our payoff, what do you call it? Payoff table. This is your payoff table. Okay? You remember, the payoff table has the profit, has your choices, and your situation. Now, if I use the EV, you remember the table of the EV? Yeah, sorry? No, not yet. Not now. Wait, hold. First, prepare the table. Now, using the EV, please tell the bar owner, can you advise the bar owner, does he prepare 10 in advance, 17 in advance, or 20 in advance? Come on, look at me. How do you use the EV? Yeah, you need two things in the EV, correct? The what and the what? The probability and the profit, correct? How many choices do you have? 3, 10, 17. So which means I need the EV here, correct? For each one of these, I need the EV because I have to make a choice. Can you tell me what is the EV for each one of these? Okay. Why are you not working? Did you understand what I said or no? How do you calculate EV? Outcome multiplied by the probability. Okay, for each line here, because this, remember, these are your choices, correct? Can I calculate the EV for this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Then give me the EV. What is the EV? Because I need to make a choice.
Outcome.
Huh? What? The EV for this plus the EV for that equals total EV. Ave Maria Purísima. Okay. Alright. Total EV. How do we get the total EV? Alright? Okay, look. I will need to multiply. I need to multiply this, correct? By what? Okay, so the EV is up here, correct? Understood? Plus the second 100, right? Multiply by what? That probability, right? So this is the EV for the first choice. Okay? Not sure if I can remove. It doesn't work. Okay, unless I make one constant, but I don't have the patience now. Okay, here we go. So again, the second one will have the same situation. Each outcome multiplied by, yes? All right. Next one. Line by line, I will multiply and add the EV. All right. So, let's probably this. I'm sorry, it's here. Okay, so I have the 3 EV. Do you understand what happened here? Everybody? Yes or no? Alright, so it's the EV. How did I get this? It's this multiplied by the probability plus this multiplied by the probability. Line by line. Yes? Everybody? Clear? Okay, so if I'm using the technique of EV, expected value, which choice should I make? Okay, so you would actually tell the bar owner to prepare 20, correct? So this is his choice. Alright, if you use the EV. Alright, clear? Don't worry, we shall have more practice in a moment. So that is your expected value. Alright, it's very easy. Alright, the limitation is that long-term wise, it's not really giving us a solution. It's very short-term. It does not include any information on risk, and it is an average. And average most often than not do not happen. Yeah, okay, it's weighted average, and it's not appropriate for one-off decisions because you need a range of information. You need data, past data, okay? Because you need probabilities, right? Now, okay. Now, when it comes to risk, there are different types of risk people and how they actually are in terms of how they accept risk. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. Some people are risk seekers. Some people are risk averse. And some people are risk neutral. Okay. Now, what are they? The risk seeker always thinks that the best outcome is possible. This person is very positive in his approach. Okay? Always thinks the best will come out. The risk averse does not like risk and always thinks that the worst thing can happen. A pessimist, in other words. And a risk neutral, okay? He doesn't look at the risk, but he looks at the outcome. Okay? He doesn't take into consideration any risk. He just looks at what will come out. A risk taker, okay, as a decision maker, is interested always on the best outcome. He will always choose the best possible outcome. Okay? Even if how small the chance they can occur. Okay? A risk neutral, he will always most likely make a decision, a balanced decision, depending on risk and returns. Okay, remember outcome. But the risk averse will always assume the worst possible outcome may incur, so therefore he would choose the lowest possible results. Okay? Now, it's for example, if I am risk averse and I have money, I'd rather put it in the bank. You understand? Rather than putting it in business or in, even if the business has a possibility of getting me a higher return. You understand? Okay. Yeah, risk averse, I don't like risk. So he likes to avoid this. And risk seeker is one who always thinks the best possible thing could happen. So this is the person, for example, as an extreme example is, I'll go to the casino because I have a chance to triple my money. Do you understand? Even if the chances are very poor. You got that? Okay. So he's a risk seeker. Because remember, the higher the risk, the higher the return, but the chances aren't always slim. Right? So different kinds of, people have a different approach to risk. All right. I have investment A and investment B. Okay? This is the highest possible outcome, expected outcome, and the lowest outcome. So expected, highest, and the lowest. If you are a risk seeker, which investment would you do? Risk seeker, which investment would you do? Investment A or investment B? You're a risk seeker. Which investment would you choose? A or B? you would choose A. Why would you choose A? Because it has the highest of all, correct? If you are risk averse, which would you choose? Risk averse? B or A? Why B? There's no loss? Yeah, but that is the lowest situation, isn't it? Okay. How about risk neutral? Risk neutral? A or B? Okay, let's take a look at your answers then. If you're a risk seeker, you will choose A. You're right. Bingo, correct. Okay. If you're risk averse, okay, sorry, you choose what? B, because you want to avoid the loss of the 10,000. Correct, again. If you're risk neutral, doesn't matter. Why? It's either A or B. Why? What is A or B? A or B is the same expected return, correct? The expected return of A and B are the same. Make sense? You understand now? Okay. So A and B is for the risk neutral. Risk adverse will choose B because they don't want to choose the loss. Okay. But they will choose the possible return. Okay. Now, there is a technique that will help a person who is either a risk seeker or a risk averse. And this is where we have maximin, minimax, maximin, maximax, and minimax regret. Did you get that? Okay. Maximin are for the averse decision maker. Why? They will maximize the minimum return. Okay, that is why it's called maximin. First, they will choose the minimum and they will choose the maximum of the minimum. Alright? You do the second word first. Okay? Did you hear what I said? I said, they will choose first all the minimum, and then they will choose the maximum of the minimum. Maximin. Okay? Now, remember, this is in the payoff table. Huh? This is in the payoff table. I'll show you in a moment. Okay? Now, the maximin is a person who likes to play it safe all the time. Alright? So, he chooses the least unattractive, worst outcome. He's very conservative, he's very defensive, okay? Right? He ignores the probability of the outcome, but he still chooses the lowest amount, okay? The lowest outcome. So that's why in a maximin, he chooses all the lowest, but he will choose the maximum of the lowest. Understand? So in example earlier, if it was a maximin, what is the lowest? These two are the lowest, correct? So that's the first thing, minimum. Then he chooses the maximum of the minimum. So between these two, which one is his choice? Correct. You understand? Yes? Maximin. He will choose all of the lowest, but he will final decision the maximum, but of all the lowest. Maximin. Okay. So let's go back. So maximin. What's the other term? Maximax. So max of the max. The maximax is for the risk seekers. What does he do? He will maximize the maximum return. So, maximize all the top, and the top of the top is his final decision. Okay? Maximax. Alright? Let's go back to our example earlier. Look, what is the max? What's the max here? This one is the max, correct? Out of these two, right? And then after he chooses the maximum of everything, then he will choose the what? The 20 cost. Because it's the maximum of the maximum. Maximax. Alright? Now, there's one more. Sorry, maximize looks at maximum possible outcome without considering even if it is the least probable thing that could happen. Okay, it ignores that. Now there's one more. Minimax regret. Regret is based on what we call opportunity cost. Regret is something like, oh, I wished I made that other decision because now I lost that. So opportunity cost is when you lose something, correct? Okay. Opportunity cost is the benefit you lost. So, what happens here? The person who does minimax regrets would like to make, okay, the minimum out of the maximum regrets. Right? So he will choose all the maximum opportunity loss and choose the least of them all. Okay? So, what happens? In a minimax, you have to convert your profit table to an opportunity loss table. Again, a profit table to an opportunity loss table. You would like to minimize your regrets. Okay? Then, right, you make a decision by choosing the minimum of the, okay, of all the regrets. The maximum of the minimum regrets. Okay. Let's do an example. My example is this situation. Kiss company must buy in inventories of a fashion product to distribute to retail outlets before quarterly demand is known. So you buy your supplies before you actually sell them. The problem is the demand is unpredictable. Okay? Is this working? The demand is unpredictable. The Kiss supplier will only give Kiss, alright, in batches of 500, 750, 1,000 or 1,250. For orders below 1,000, the unit cost is 42. Order sizes of 1,000 above, the cost will be 40. The retail price is 80, and whatever units are unsold at the end of the quarter will be sold to the market trader for $30 per unit. Kiss thinks that each unit of unsatisfied demand will lead to an opportunity cost of $4. Okay? So, what do? We prepare a what? We have to prepare a payoff table. These are the probability that this is the demand. 500 demand, 750, etc. Now, what quantity will maximize profit in the long term? Okay? So, what are the two situations? The first situation is your demand. Yes? So, the demand is your situation or your choices? Is the situation or the choices? This is the situation. This is what the market will actually buy from you. Yes? And the situation is the one that is the probability. Is that correct? What are the probability of the demand? It says the demand has the following probability. So this one represents your situation. Okay? Your situation. Now, then what choices do you have? Your choice is you have to decide what order size you want.
So Keith will need to decide, does he buy in 500, 750, 1,000, or 1,200? So these are his choices. You understand? Okay? Choices. Now, how do we calculate what is in here? What do I put here? I have to put in profit, correct? Okay? So again, this one is our situation. This one is our choices. Choices. Okay? So how do I put in? Oops, sorry, what happened? Okay. So 500. Okay? How will I know the profit here? How much did they sell? Okay, how much did they sell? 80. So if they buy 500 and the demand is 500, so what happened? What is the profit? What is 80? How much are they going to sell? Okay, here we go. What is the selling price? Selling price is 80. Okay? And then what are the costs? If it's below 1,000 is 42. If above 1,000 and above is 40. Correct? Okay. So, if they buy, remember how we prepare a payoff table? Yes? So what is the payoff table now? We have to put the profit, correct? So the first is, if they buy 500, they can sell 500. Yes? So, what is our profit? If they buy 500 at 42, don't mind my box, they can sell all the 500 at 80, correct? So, the profit will be 90,000. Is that correct? Okay. Now, let's go to the next. What happens here? They buy 750 and then they sell at what? They buy 500 and the demand is 750. So how much can they make? I cannot write on the screen. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we understand the first one, right? So 19 is, how did we calculate the 19? Okay. So the first one is, you bought at 500 and you sold all of them. So you multiply by 80 minus the cost of what? Maybe it's better if you write. So sales is what? 500 at 80 is equal to, then 5 less cost at 42. How much is that? 45,000, is that correct? Yes, minus how many? 21. 21, sorry. Sorry, 40,000. 45. 40,000, correct. Yeah, so 21,000. So that is 19,000. Okay? Now how about number 2? How do I calculate that? So how many did they buy? Alright, they bought 500, so they can sell only 500, even if the demand is 750, correct? So 80 is 40,000. Cost is what?
500 at 42 still. But there is an opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost? It says if something is unsold, what happened to the unsold item? We don't have unsold item, correct? Because we only bought 500 and the market is 750. But there is an opportunity cost. How much does it say? It says for every opportunity that you miss to sell, how many did they miss to sell? 250, because the market is 750. They only bought 500 materials, so they were not able to sell 250, correct? So, what is the cost per opportunity lost? $4, correct? Okay, so this one is another loss of 1,000. So, this one is 18,000. Yes? Can you tell me how number 3 here is calculated? Okay. How about number 3? Can you tell me how it's calculated? How much is the sales? Number 3. How many quantity did you have? Number 3 here in my notes. Look. How many units did they? How many clothes did they buy? No. What did they buy? 500. What was the market? 1,000. So were they able to sell all the 500? Yes. Okay. But look at the cost, huh? Remember the cost. So 500 they were able to sell. Agree. What is the cost? They bought 500 at what price? 40. Remember, because 1,000 and above, they already... no. 42. Because they only bought 500 pieces, correct? So 42. So it is still 20, 21. Anything else? Opportunity loss of what? How much? 500 at what price again? 4. So minus 2. So how much is this? 70. Okay. Can you calculate for me number 4 here? What about number 4? They bought 750. I think that is easy. But they sold only 500. Give you 16. You bought 750. So how many did you sell? But the market is only 500. Okay? So the company bought 750 pieces of clothing, but the market only is 500. So how many is your sales? How many did you sell? 500. At what price? Same time. Same, right? How about your cost though? 750 multiplied by what? 42. So how much is that? Hmm? 31,500. However, What did he say? If you cannot sell it, you can sell it to a market trader by how many? Okay, how many pieces though? So you sell it to a trader, 250 pieces. That's your you didn't sell this, correct? How much did you sell it at? 30. So that is your another income, correct? Yes? Positive, correct. So what is the net effect? Positive or negative? Okay, so does to give it 16,000? Yeah? 16,000, correct? Alright. How about number How about number 5 would be this. How do you prove number 5? What is the situation in number 5? They bought 1,000 pieces. The market is only for 750. Let's see. Sell all? You sure? You bought 1,000. The demand is only 750. Okay, so your sales is how many pieces only? 750 at 80. What is your cost? 1,000 at? How much is per unit? 40. For order of 1,000 and above, what is the unit cost? 40. And then what do you have? You have to sell to the trader. How many are you going to sell to the trader? 250. Alright? Here. So that is your payoff. It depends on the situation, yeah? I'll give you another example a bit later on. Okay? Question. Anybody has any questions? Okay, so let's see. Alright, now if I'm going to use the EV, you have this table now. If I'm going to use, EV, which means I have to what? I have to calculate the EV for each of my choices, correct? Can I do that? I want to use the EV. I need to know total EV. These are my choices, right? 500, 750, 1,000. The KISS company wants to know which order they will actually use to place an order. Will they order 500, 750, 1,000, or 1,250? You understand? So, how will I calculate the EV? I take the output and you have the probability. Correct? Yes? So, give me the probability of each one. Actually, I did it already for you. Okay, it's in the next slide. Yes, it's there. You understand? Okay? So if you try using this for the 500, you multiply that with the probability. How much does it give you? Okay, it should give you, I did that for you, the next slide. If the order is 500, you add all the EV. Yes? You understand? So 19 multiplied by 0.2, 18 multiplied by 0.3, 17 multiplied by 0.35. Everybody understands? Okay.
Probability is given?
Yeah, it's given, it's there. Then previously. There. Yeah. Alright? So here are the EVs. I do it here so it will be fast. You know how it's done, so I don't need to get you to do it individually. Therefore, if you look at this and I use expected value method, which order will KISS company do? Which quantity should they place? 1,000. Yes. Why 1,000? Because it has the highest possible EV, correct? So, this one. If you're using, of course, the EV method, expected value method. Yun? Got it? Easy, no? The trick is, the solution is easy. The trick is in the preparation of the payoff table. Okay? And you'll probably be asked to do it, so we need to make sure that you are well versed on how to prepare a payoff table. Okay? Because if you don't make the payoff table correctly, then you cannot calculate maximax, maximin, minimax, regret. Okay? Eventually, of course. So, alright, so here's the EV, and of course, you would choose to do the maximum. Sorry, this is not correct. It's not it's not aligned. Okay, so that is your choice. Yes? Okay. So, using the same table. Okay, let's use the same table here. Okay, maybe this table here. Where's the nice table that we have? Okay, so if you're going to use the same table, alright, let's start with maximin. Okay, maximin. What did I tell you about maximin? First, he will choose the minimum of all, correct? And then he will try to do what? He will choose the maximum of the minimum. So, for every choice, what is his maximum? What is the minimum result? So, the first is 16. Then, the second one. So, you go this way, yeah? So, you go by choice. So, out of the 750, which one is the lowest? 16 again, 15 minimum, and then? Okay, so all that are the minimum, correct? Okay, now let's look at and see what is his maximum. Maximum out of the encircled one. Okay, so the answer would be either 500 or, okay, so any one of these two here. Okay. So, maximin. Alright, so he will decide, okay, is either 500 or 700, correct? Yes, okay. So, what will he decide? 7, 5, 7, any of these two. So it's the same result. But which one do you think he will actually come out with? Remember, he will actually think about the lowest worst scenario. So what is his decision? 500 or 750? He will choose the 500. He will choose to say that the demand in the market will be the lowest. Do you remember? Do you know? Yeah? Remember what I told you? The max, where's my mic? The maximum, a maximin person is a pessimist. He's a risk seeker or a risk averse. What do you think? Do you remember? He's risk averse. So if he wants a lesser risk, will he order 500 or 750? 500. Because he will think that the worst scenario will happen. The demand will only be 500. So he will choose 500. Because he has two choices, 500 or 750. Alright, let's do the same thing. And we're going to talk about Maximax. Okay? Maximax. Now tell me, what happens to Maximax? Maximax. So he will choose first the maximum, and then he will do what? He will choose the maximum of the maximum. Now look this way. Look at your choices. First choice, what is the maximum? 19. Second, 28. Third, 40. Fifth, 50. Now look at the maximum of the max. What is he going to choose? 50, correct? Then he will order how many? 1,250. Okay? That is Maximax. Now you see, if you did not prepare the payoff table correctly, your answer will be wrong. Because they will ask you to prepare a payoff table first, and then make the choices using either EV, that's one technique, or they'll ask you to use Maximin, Maximax, or one more, Minimax regret. But Minimax regret is a certain secret. The Minimax regret, you have to convert your payoff table to a opportunity loss table. Okay, so let's see what happens if you prepare a payoff table, opportunity loss table. Okay, right? So your table will now be converted into a opportunity loss table. What happened? What happened to this? Okay, let me copy this. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a moment. I shall be with you in a second. Okay, here it is. What was the first one? The first one was a payoff table. I will convert this to an opportunity loss table. How do I do that? Okay, let me enlarge it for you. All right. Now, when I have an opportunity loss table, I will look at every situation. So now, when you convert to opportunity loss, you look this way. From the demand side. From the situation side. Earlier, when we were doing Maximax, we were doing from where? From the choices. when you're looking at converting it to opportunity loss, you have to look at from the demand. What does it mean? If the demand was 500, okay, what is your best, could have been the best possible result? If the demand in the market was 500, what could be your best result? 19,000. So if you had bought 500, then would you have any regret? This is your best solution, correct? So if this was your demand in the market, this one was your best choice, right? So if this was what you got, your regret will be what? 0. You don't have any regret because you got exactly. You see what it has here? 0. Okay. However, if the demand was 500 and you bought 750, how much is your regret? How do I get my regret? I could have made 3,000 more. You understand? I lost 3,000. I should have been 19, but because I had 750, what did I do? My regret is 3,000. How did I get 3,000? What should have been the maximum? Minus what I had. Okay? Now look at the next one. If I bought 1,000, I made 15, correct? But my regret is how much? How did I get 4? What it should have been, but this is what I just got. So my regret is, I should have made 4,000 more. That is a regret. You understand? Next one, 1 to 50. I made 12,500, but my regret is what? If I made this choice instead of my choice, I could have made 6,500 more. You understand? So this here is my opportunity loss. I was not able to make this. I lost this because this opportunity because I made the wrong choice. You got that? Okay. So let's look at the next line. Look at the next line here on the top. If the demand in the market is 750, what is the best choice? What's the best choice if the demand was 750 in the market? What's the best choice? Oh, this one here. Okay? So, this one will be, if I chose 750, my regret will be 0. But if I chose 500, what's my regret? 28,500 minus 18. It's 10,500 regret. You got that? Okay? How about here? If I chose to take 1,000 at this situation, my regret is 1,000 because this is my maximum. Do you understand? Okay? You got that? So, okay, one more. What about if the market demand was 1,000? What's my best choice? 40. So, I don't have a regret if I chose 1,000, correct? But if I chose to 500, what is my regret? 40 minus 17. That is my regret. Yes? Okay? Now, of course, that is not yet the answer. That is only preparing the opportunity loss table. Let's talk about mini-max regret. So, what do? We choose the what first? Aha. You choose the what? Mini-max. So, 2 words. Max and mini. So, what will you choose first? All the what? All the maximum regrets, and then you choose the lowest out of the maximum. Okay, so this time, how will I look? The same way, you have to look downwards now. Look downwards, not across. Okay? So out of these, look, out of these 3, what is the maximum regret? 34. Out of these, what's the maximum regret? 23. Out of this, what's the maximum regret? And this one is 6.5. Now, out of the maximum regrets, choose the what? The minimum. So what is the lowest? This. So someone who is using minimax regret doesn't want to have doesn't want to regret a lot. So he will choose what? How many pieces to buy? 1,200 pieces. Sorry, 1,250 pieces. Minimax regrets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Okay, nice. All right. Okay, now I'm going to get you to practice to do this. Okay? Now, wait. Before we practice, I need you to go for a break, correct? So when you come back, we're going to practice a very simple one, and then we go to a long question, okay? All right, so see you in a few minutes. Yeah, then minus 250 opportunity loss. Yeah? Then 250, because it says that you were not able the opportunity loss. Times what? How much is it? Opportunity loss is $4. Yes. I have in front of you, which is in your next slide. All right. I have a payoff table. Okay. A payoff table. And this is a newspaper agent. And he wants to know, he wants to sell magazines. The demand of the magazines are 10, 15, and 20. So he has to buy the magazines in advance. He wants to know, should he buy 10, 15, or 20? So which one is his choices? This one here are his choices. This one is your situation. First, if you use Maximax, okay, if you use Maximax, what is the choice? Maximax. 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 Maximum first and then the maximum next. Okay? So, where you look at? Are you going to look at the choices or situation? The choices. The only time you use a reference from the situation is when you prepare the opportunity loss table. Yes? Okay. Maximax. Alright, so look down. What is the maximum if it's 10? Well, 100. What's the maximum if it's 15? 150. What's the maximum if it's 20? Okay, now choose the maximum. Which of the circled ones are maximum? 200. So, if it's Maximax, how many magazines he will buy? 20 magazines. Okay? Alright. Next. The same table, but Maximin. Tell me. Same table, but Maximin. What are the minimum first? Okay, so 100. Next one? 25, and then? Negative 50, correct? Okay, what is the maximum of the minimum? So you will choose this one. So he will buy 10 magazines. Okay, what is this called? This is called Maximin. Yes? Alright. Last one. Minimax regret. Can I use this table? No. What do I need to do? Convert this table into what? Okay, can you do that now, please? I want to convert this to an opportunity loss table. Correct? 10, 15, 20. 10, 15, 20. From where will I look? I have to look from the situation. From the situation. Now don't forget, it's not always like this. So you always look at the table, which one is the situation? Because sometimes the situation is above. You remember the first factory? The situation was above. This one, the situation is from the left. So always look for the situation. Okay, not the choices. Alright? So how will our opportunity loss table look like?
If the demand is 0, what is the best solution? Which one is the best solution? Okay, so 10. So this one therefore will be, let me use another color. This one would be 0. Is that correct? Then, but if you had 15 magazines, what will be the opportunity loss? 75. Okay, so it's 100 minus 25, correct? If you bought 20, what is the opportunity loss? 100 minus negative 50, correct? So what is that? 150. Do you understand? Okay, because it's a loss, huh? Okay, alright. If the demand is 15, what is the best solution? 150, that is 0. So if you bought 100, so 10 only, what is your opportunity loss? 50, and on the other side, it would be what? 75, correct? Sorry, 25? 75, okay. If you bought 20, what is your opportunity? The best opportunity? 200 is there 0. So if you bought only 10, your regret is what? 100. Your opportunity loss for the 15 magazines would be 50. You understand? Alright. Now you have this. Mini-max regrets. Now, this time, look this way. Yes? Okay? Look downwards. What is your maximum regret for every choice? Maximum regret? 100, 75, 150. But you have to get the mini-max. Mini of the maximum regret. So which one is that? So you have to have 275. So if you have mini-max regret, how many magazines? 15 magazines. Yes? Okay? Clear? Yes, question.
Would there be a maximum regret?
No. There are only 3 of them. Don't add anymore. Okay, there's only 3. Maximax, Minimax, and Maximax, Maximin, and Minimax regret. In Minimax regret, you have to compute the opportunity loss. Okay? Alright. Good. Okay, now. Alright? Okay, so everybody's okay with this? Okay. Now, what we're going to talk about next is, alright, what happens, because remember, we had expected probabilities, correct? What happens if there are 2 probabilities? Okay, so sorry I have to tell you this because it's in the syllabus. What happens if there are joint probabilities? In other words, the choices and the situation both have probabilities. What should be done? Don't worry, it's very simple. Let me show you. As long as you know that when we compute EV, how is EV computed? Probability multiplied by the outcome. Okay? Always. It's the same principle. However, let's take a look. When we have more than one variable or one probability, it's easy. That's what we seen earlier. So you have what? Okay? When we had one variable, so you had situation, you had choices, and you had one probability. Correct? In terms of the situation. So it's easy. And we learned how to calculate payoff table. This is what this slide is saying to us. However, there are instances when there are 2 variables, so you have to construct a 2-way table and then prepare a joint probability table. Okay? Alright, very easy. Let me show you something. Let us take this example. Okay? Brown Company is trying to develop a new product.
Alright? The company is confident that the product will sell 30,000 pieces at $25. However, the variable costs and the fixed costs are not certain, but it's covered by the following circumstances. So there are 3 possible variable costs per unit. And this is the probability that this will happen. When this happens, and there's 3 ways, there are 3 fixed costs that could happen. And these are the probability that will happen. Okay? So, alright, so we're going to do a payoff table using this data. So the first payoff table is this. Okay? So, it says, remember, these are the profit in thousands, okay? So look, what is this? These are the variable costs and these are the fixed costs. So how did I get 290,000? So remember, this is the variable cost, this is the fixed cost. How did I get 290,000? Anybody can know? Let me just copy that here, one second, and I'll show you. Very easy. If you remember how we did the other one, you'll be able to answer me my question. How do you think we calculated the 290,000? Anybody? What do you think? Anybody want to try? How did we get this? Okay, help me. Here. 1. How much is the sales? 30,000, correct. At how much is the selling price? 25. So how much is the total sales? How much? 75,000. What is the variable cost? What is the variable cost? Is that correct? Sorry. Huh? 750. I missed 10. Okay. So variable cost is what? Look at the table. So what's the variable cost they said for this situation here? 12. Okay. So 12. So variable cost of 12 is 360,000. What's the fixed cost? 100,000. So what is it? Does it give us 290? Yes or no? 290. Correct? Yes? So the same thing happens for the rest. Can you try one? Let's see. Give me this one here. How did we calculate the 250? Can you try? Same thing, isn't it? Yes? Alright, but in this case, sales is what? Still 750. Cost, variable cost will be what? 30 at what price? Variable cost is 13. Correct? Yes, understood? Yes or no? Okay, so how much is that? Okay, 390. Then what is the fixed cost for that box? 110. Does it give us 250? Yes or no? Double check. Yes, okay. So, now I'm not gonna do anymore. You know how it's generated. Agree? Everybody, are you following me? Yes, unless you tell me, then I will not continue. Alright. Okay, so first, what do we call this? We call it the profit table, correct? Okay, the payoff table. Okay, payoff table. Now, let's put in the probabilities, okay? What are the probabilities? The joint probability is what? What is the joint probability? Look, this is the probability. These are the probability that this will happen, correct? Yes? And these are the probability that this
will happen. The fixed cost will happen, right? Yes? Which means, how did I get this? No, by the way, where did I get this? The number here. It's given in the problem, correct? Yes? The probabilities here are given in the problem. What you are going to solve in here is what? You're going to solve, you're going to solve this area here, correct? You understand? Okay. The rest are given in the problem. How did I get 0.08? It's very simple. 0.2 multiplied by 0.4. Yes? How did I get 0.14? 0.35 multiplied by 0.4. Double check. Can you check? Just get any number. How about this one here? How did we get this? 0.225. What did you get? 0.45 multiplied by what? 0.5. You got that now? How did I then get the EV here? This is the solution of the EV. How did I get this EV? Can you find out? The probability now, because there are two probabilities, correct? So I have to do the joint probability. Now, how do I get the EV? How do I get the EV? Let me move this here to the other side. So you can understand. Make sure your brain is not yet mushy. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Okay? Let me add it here. Alright, so. Mushy. Okay. Alright, so. How did I get? Where is my magic wand? Okay. How did I get this EV here? I need two things, correct? I need the outcome and I need the probability. Okay? Which probability I need to use? 0.08. Sorry, 0.08, correct. Multiply by what? 290. Very good. It doesn't give us that? And it's so on and so forth, correct? So how do I know what is the expected value of the profit? So there's no choices, it's a situation. So what is the expected value? What is the answer to this question? The expected profit is what? How did I get that? How did I get 245? You know what they did? You add all the EV. There's no choices here. It's not like there's choice 1, 2. It's the all probability of what could happen. You understand? Okay. So what is the total joint profit? Everything. Okay. So using all the probabilities, this is the weighted average profit of that company. Okay. Using the probability of the outcome of the costs, both variable cost and fixed cost. You want to check? Total it up first. Okay. So 245 is the total of all the EVs. Yes? You got that? You understand how it works, huh? So if you have two variables, two probabilities, you have to prepare what we call a joint probability table. Yes? And then you get your joint probability before you calculate your EV. Because you understand the first one, you understand it very fast. You understand? Clear? Yeah? How about at the back? You're okay? Yes? Okay, good. Alright? So, it's not really that difficult, isn't it? Okay? Okay, good. Okay, let's make it more complicated. Shall we? Alright, there's another question. Let's take a look at this problem. The following data shows a budgeted profit of the company. And it's uncertain about the demand and inflation.
So it says, these are the following demand, okay? And these are the following inflation rates, okay? The demand and inflation rates, okay? And what do you think is this here? What did they say these are? If these are the demand, these are the inflation rates, what are these? These are the what? Budgeted profit. So it's a profit and a loss, correct? There's some negative, okay? Again, this one is a table recording the profit if these are the demands and these are the inflation rates, okay? However, there are two things. The demand probability are here, and the probability that this inflation will happen is here. Now, joint probabilities, correct? Two variables. What did I tell you we need to do first? We are to prepare a what? A joint probability table. So, first and foremost, if you interpret the data, what is the maximum profit that they can actually get? Okay, maximum is 44, correct? The minimum is a loss of what? No. That is not the biggest loss. What is the biggest loss? 32 is the biggest loss. Yes? Okay. Alright, so yes, there are seven outcomes that will be a loss. Is that correct? How many are probable losses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Out of the, how many outcomes are there? There are 16 outcomes. Alright? 16 outcomes. 7 are losses. The highest is 44 and the highest loss is 32. Okay? Now, alright, do I have you blank there? Oh yes, okay. So now I want you to prepare the joint probability table. It's blank over there. Yes? Joint probability table first. And after the joint probability table, calculate for me the expected value table. Okay? Yes? Can you do that? Now, do you have the probabilities there? Yes, the probabilities are given, right? Yes? Yeah. Okay. So remember, the inflation rates are 1.04, 1.06, and a 4% inflation has a 15% probability. You understand? So 1.04 has a 0.15 probability. Okay?
Okay? So, let's see. Let's look at your table. Is that what you got? Yes? So how many percent chance you're going to make a loss? Which ones are supposed to be losses? You remember there were 7. Which one were the ones that were losses at the beginning? You remember? Which one were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that correct? Can you double check? The highlighted ones are the ones that were losses at the original table. Is that correct? Yes? So, if you add the yellow ones, those are the yellow ones that there is a what? Remember, there were losses, correct? So those percentages there, if you total up that, is the percentage of the one that will be what? There's a 39.5% chance of a loss, correct? The rest are a percentage chance of making a profit. So how did I highlight the yellow again? The original table shows that there were losses on those, correct? Is that correct? 39? No? Something is missing. Try it. Unless your numbers are missing. Yeah. Correct? Yes. Okay. Now, we haven't finished yet. What is the joint or what is the expected profit? What is the expected value of the profits? What will you do now? So you take this joint probability and multiply by the loss or profit where? The original table, correct? Okay, so tell me now, what is the EV? Next table, please. Yeah, it's easier there. Okay, so yeah, do this one. What is the expected value of the profit? The profit, you need the profit table? It's not, you don't have it yet? Oh, okay, alright. So it's better to show the profit table. Here. Is that correct? No, that's the answer. Here. This one here. Correct? Yes, because you have the probability that you calculated there. Yes? Okay, maybe because some people are not yet done doing it. Okay, is this better? Everything is there. You can see it? Alright. Yeah, you should have been calculated this already, correct? So now you have to take this joint probability and you have to multiply it with the profit and loss of the first one to get the expected value, right? Which is the last table. Hmm? Which one? This one. You have to take these probabilities now, multiply by the original profit table. Because you need to give me this. What is the expected value of the profit? Or loss, huh? Don't forget, if it's a loss, huh? Yes, in this case, everything together, because it's the whole possible outcome. It's not like earlier that we had choices, correct? This is the whole possible outcome that it can have. So that's why it's, if you see, the total of it, of all the probability is equal to 1. Yes? If you total all these probabilities, did you total this probability? This is equal to 100%. Yes? Because that is the total effect. Okay? So, what is our expected value then? Expected value of our profit. Are you done or not yet? Not yet. Sorry, I'm too fast. Okay. Okay? Alright? How much? Manage not yet. Ah, ito slow ah. Ay, gulay. When I was doing my audit, when I was very young, my first job was auditor. And the first, when I had doing my, because you have to total up things, correct? When you're audit, you have to summarize reports and things like that. And my supervisor told me, stop, my calculator, so slow. He let me stay that night and gave me a whole book of, I don't know if you've seen, yellow pages, we have all the telephone numbers of everybody. You understand? He asked me to type without looking to my calculator, so I have to learn how to. You understand? To move my fingers on my calculator the whole evening until 1 o'clock. Then I go home. Be fast. Okay, no. You don't have to be fast. You're not auditors. Okay. Alright? Right. What is our expected profit? What did you do? What is your new rates, correct? So you have to take that, multiply with these rates, and you get here. You understand? Okay? So, total EV, what? How much? Are you sure? Yes, you're sure. Perfect. Bingo. Yep. You understand? 5,575. You have some extra zeros there. Yeah. Okay. Good. So this is your expected profit. Okay. Using expected value method. Okay. Good job, everybody. Okay. So let me just copy this and put it on the other side so you can see it. All right. All right, so now you've understood that. The next thing we need to talk about is decision tree. Okay, decision tree. But that is a whole new thing. So I need you to do another exercise on before we leave this topic. Okay? Because the decision tree, if we start that, it's a whole long story. So I don't want to start something in the middle. Okay? Can I ask you to open your Google Classroom, please? Google Class. And we're going to look at an activity there. Okay? Where am I? Over here. Oh, sorry, it's not yet posted. Hold on. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me post that first. Okay, so ready? Okay. All right, can you open it? Wait, it's still assigning. Hold on. Okay, can you open it now? All right, what do you see in front of you? Do you see what I see? It should be an Excel spreadsheet. Be patient. It will come. Go to your Google Classroom first and log in with your ComEd email. Otherwise, you'll not be able to submit it. Yes? ComEd email and you'll not be able to see it otherwise. ComEd email. Yeah, once you click it, just give it a few minutes. Few seconds. It should come out. Still loading. Good, it's going. Okay, you see it? Okay. Still loading. It's forever. It's coming from Sianville. Takes a long time in the box. Coming into the box. Okay?
Still nothing.
Still? Yeah? Then you have the Excel. Oh, be patient. It will come. It says working. Okay? It's good. The computer is working. We are not. Okay? Just wait. Oh, there you are. Ta-da! There is a question. No? Oh, okay, where are you? Oh, you go to Google Classroom, please. Go to Google, where you go down one more time. And you go there. And go and choose the class. Oh my God, it's working. When the computer is this is not the Wi-Fi.
That's not check.
You know, Wi-Fi is slow, huh? Yeah, I know what to do. Is everybody loading it? Imagine behind every computer there are small people working. They cannot cope with your system, isn't it? Okay. Okay, then you go, it says there, assignment. There's an assignment. Coming out now? Not yet. You still here? Sure. There, new assignment, that one. Yes, open it. And click on the... Still loading? Oh, my golly. Wait a moment. We should have switched on our computers at break time, isn't it? Sorry about that. Should have. Now I know. I need to ask you to switch it on at break time. Forever. Okay, hold on. Those who have it on on the screen. Go to the requirements first. Okay? What is the requirement A? Good, you can enlarge it. Hold on. Guys, I know. You're on? Are you on? Okay. Okay, do you see it already, the question? Do you see the question? Yeah? Okay, good.
Okay, so do requirement number 1 first.
Do you see it already there? It's quite fast? Not yet? Right, I thought the phone would be faster.
Yes, what is the first requirement? Calculate
The expected demand per concert. And then you are to calculate the maximin, maximax, correct?
So letter A is asking you expected demand. Then after that, you're going to do what? You have to prepare a profit table. Do you understand that? It says, what is the level of purchases per concert that will give him the largest profit over a long period of time? So which means you have to prepare a profit payoff table, correct? You remember the payoff table? Alright, so now, let's look at the problem. Can you read the problem first? If you have it already on. Okay, what is the problem? What is the scenario, I mean? Okay, so let me enlarge this so those who cannot read it from your computer, you can make it bigger. Hopefully, I can. View. All right, sorry. Can you read it from here? Yeah. Okay, so, sorry for those who are reading. Everybody read already? Not yet. So the first requirement is you are to calculate the expected demand of the concert, and using the EV, we will have to give them which number of tickets they need to buy to give the highest what? The largest profit over a period of time using EV. Okay? But before we can do the second dot, you need to be able to prepare a profit table. Okay? So, in the meantime, let's do the first one first. So, letter A. Okay? So, let's understand. What does he do, this person? He buys what? He buys tickets in advance because he resells them, correct? Alright, so if he buys in advance, he needs to know, correct? How many he needs to buy in advance. Okay, how do I move this? I don't know. Oh my golly. Okay, it's over here. Okay, here. Okay, hold on. What?
Is the zoom in? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so what is he going to do? He's buying what? So if you look at the problem, what are these here? The 100, 200, 300, 500, what are they? They are the demand. So in our choices in our situation, what is that? A choice or the demand? Or the situation? Those are the choices, correct. What are the situation? The situation are? Popular artists, yes, down here, correct? Okay, so if we're going to answer letter A, okay, what is letter A? It's asking us, okay, so A, we need EV of, what is it asking you? Expected what? Okay, EV, expected sales demand. Alright? How do you do that? Expected, okay? So if you're typing it in your answer, expected sales demand. Okay, so what will you do? You have the artists, you have the probability, correct? Okay? Do you have the demand for every type of artists? Where is it located? If it's a popular artist, how many tickets are normally sold? It's over here, correct? Yes? So, if popular artist, 500. If it's lesser known artists, how many tickets? 350. If it's unknown artist, is 200. So what is your EV? It's very simple, no? Okay, so all you need to do is what? Take and type in popular. Yes? Okay, so popular artists. Then what? Sorry, I cannot see very well. Then what? Lesser known artists. And then what else? Unknown artists. Okay, so you put in the demand. And you said it's what? 500, 350, and 200. Then you put in the probability. What's the probability? 0.45, 0.30, and 0.25, correct? So what is your EV then? Okay, so your EV, you multiply your column 1 and your column number 2. Yes? And all you need to do is actually take it down here. I hope it does work. Yes. Then what happened here? What do I need to do? I need to give the total, correct? The sum of the what? Yes? So how many is that? Oh, sorry. 380. Is that correct? Yes? Okay. So you have that. But we have now to prepare a pay-off table before we can answer the second part. Yes? Can you tell me, how do we design the pay-off table here? Yeah? Which one do you like? Demand, decide? Okay? Let me see. It's easier. Okay, so you have demand and choices, correct? Can it be? Or can it be the other way around? It doesn't matter. Okay, so let me enlarge it a bit. Okay, so you can see it. So there you are. Having enlarged it. I will rely on your input to me. Okay, so there are two things that we have. We have the sales demand, which is our situation, correct? And we have the what? We have the purchase level. What are the purchase level they can buy at? Can you tell me what are the purchase level they can buy at what?
At the level twice, right?
Hmm? Yeah.
Still the money situation.
Yeah, demand is the situation. The purchase level is their choices, correct? You're right. Okay, so purchase level. What are the different levels that they can buy? It's in the problem. What does it say? They can buy 200, correct? And then 300, and then 400, and then 500. So these are your purchase levels. What could be the demand? We said it depends on the artists, which means what? It can be 200, it can be 350, correct? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, and the other demand is would be 500. Okay? Now what amounts are we supposed to put in here? Okay? Remember, we have to put amounts here. Agree? And what amounts are we supposed to put here in these boxes? What do you want to put here? Is the what? Is the profit, correct? Is the sales or profit? What are we putting in these boxes here again? Ladies and gentlemen, what do I need? Selling price? I'm going to hang you upside down. We've been talking about it the whole afternoon. What do we put in this way of table? A profit, not sales. I want profit. If I buy 200 and sell 200, what is the profit, correct? Okay, let's understand first. When they buy, how much do they buy the tickets for? How much is per ticket? 30, correct? So, how do they make money, this person? How does it make money? So, they buy at 30, but if he buys a quantity, he gets a what? He buys it at 30, he sells it at what? How much does he sell the ticket at? Does he sell? He's still at 30. You understand? The ticket is $30. So, but if he's the agent and he buys a lot, he has a discount, correct? But he sells the ticket at the same price. So he's still 30. But how does he make money? The discount that he gets, correct? Okay, now, so if he buys 200 tickets, how many discount does he get? Does it say there? 20%. So if he sells all of the 200, what happens? He gets all the commission, correct? You got it? But is there instances that he cannot sell everything? Yes? So he bought 400, but he only sold 200. What happens to the 200 left? He can what? He can give it to the box office. You know what is a box office? The box office is the office where the show is going to happen. You understand? And the box office will sell it at the time of the show. You understand? Okay? And when he puts it in the box office, does he get some money? Yes. Yeah. How many percent get sold? 60% get sold, but how much does he get? How much money does he get? How many of the ticket is sold? When he gives it to the box office, what does it say? 10% of the tickets get sold, correct? But how much of the sales does he get? Only 60% of the 10% sold. You understand? So he doesn't get the full money. He doesn't get the 30 back. You understand? He only gets 60% of the tickets value that the box office sells for him. You understand? Okay. So again, he buys the tickets in advance. He sells it to his customers. If he sells everything, good. He makes the commission. He makes money by the discount, correct? That he bought it at. Alright? But if he does not sell it, he has one more chance. One more chance. He gives the ticket to the box office where the show is happening, and that person in the box office will sell it to the walk-in customer.
But he,
On the average, that box office only sells 10% of every ticket he gives, correct? But he doesn't get the full price of 30. He only gets how many percent of the price? 60%. So 10% is sold, and the price is at 60. Now you understand his situation, huh? Okay? It's almost similar to the bar owner who's trying to sell the meals. You remember? Yeah, he gets a profit, but he has to deduct some losses. You got that? Okay? So let me give to you the first one. Okay? So he buys at 200. Okay, let's understand first how much profit does he make. Okay? How much discount does he make? Let's do that first, so that we will understand how much money he's making. Okay? So let's look at his. Okay? Let's look at the workings here. Okay? So before you go away, so that you can work on it tomorrow or tonight, whatever. Okay? So number one is how much is he making as a discount? You understand? Which is what is going to make as a profit, correct? Okay. So we're going to look at his gross profit. Okay. Gross profit per ticket. Okay. Gross profit per ticket is the what? Is the discount, correct? Received on the selling price. How much is the selling price? Of $30, correct? Okay, so let's move this here so you can see. Bear with me guys 1 second. Okay. Now, how do I make it until here? No more? Only up to Z? What the kind of Excel spreadsheet is this? Okay. Alright. We'll have to move it back here. And we'll have to complain, huh? The system is not working, huh? Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. Okay. Alright. My dolly boo. Okay. Alright. Purchase level. 200, 200, okay, 300, 400, and what? 500. How many percent discount does he get? Discount is 20%. Okay, sorry, there's one line there. Okay, I'll just skip it 1 second. 0.25, 0.25, 0.30 discount, and 0.40, correct? Yes? So if the selling price is 30, how much profit does he make? Per ticket. Alright, so this, okay, so this one here, multiply by what? By 30, so you get $30, correct? Okay, next one. Let's see if it works. The other one is 7.5 and the other is what? 12. Is that correct? Yes? So that is his discount, which means if he sells all of the tickets, he gets those as his profit. Do you understand? His discount will be his profit because if, for example, if I buy the ticket at 30 less 6 is 22, but I sell it at 30, so I make the $6. Understand? Okay, whatever, $8. Okay? So, Okay, so what happens now? What do we do? If therefore I buy the 200, okay? He buys the 200 and he sells the 200. How much profit does he make? He buys 200, he sells 200. What is the discount of the 200? 20%. So how much is that? So it's what? All the 200 are sold. What is his profit? We said $6, right? So he makes 1,200. Now let's go to the next one. He buys at 300, but what happened? He only sells 200. How do we calculate it now? Okay, so how do I calculate that now? So let's see. First is he has the profit for 200. What is his profit for 200? How much did he buy? He bought it at, how many did he buy? He bought 300. How much does he make if he buys 300? How much per piece? What discount does he get? 7 point, no, not 6. Remember, he bought at 300, but he's selling 200 only. So, but because he bought it at 300, how much profit does he get? 7.5. So, profit at 7.5 is what? 200 at 7.5 is what? Okay. All right. However, there's a 200, correct? Yes? What happened to the 200? Oh, sorry, 200. 100. Okay. What happens to the 100? Yes.
So he will get the 100 where?
All right. So 100 tickets will be. He's going to give it back to the. Okay. So the 100 at the box office. What happens there? He will give the 100 tickets, right? How much does he get? How many get sold? 10% only get sold, correct? And it's supposed to be sold at $30, but he gets how many percent only of the 30? Only 60, right? Okay? So, how much does he make? How much does he make from there? How much does he make from the box office? 100 and? How much? 180. So, that's what he makes here. However, all right, now, there is some cost. What is the cost? What is the cost? The cost of 100. Remember, he did not sell the 100.